Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Go Get That Rose, the off season. We still have plenty to talk about, and talking about it is me, your host, Sarah, and with me, of course, as always, is my co-host, J Wade.
Hey, everybody. Hey, Sarah.
How are you doing? How's our first week without anything Bachelor related going?
It's a little bittersweet. It's a little bitter because I don't have anyone to laugh at and make fun of and stuff like that. And at work, especially, I got a woman watching the shows now because she wanted to listen to our podcast. So she likes to talk about it, but we can't now. And then it's sweet because I don't have to watch the stupidity and the crying and.
Well, just wait till January and it will be back forever in our lives.
I'm actually looking forward to it for real. So
me too. It will be your first season watching The Bachelor all the way through, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be cool for the cat fights and stuff like that. I want to see a bunch of girls competing for a trophy rather than a bunch of guys competing for a trophy.
I honestly think the men are so much more entertaining to watch. Like,
really?
Oh yeah, the men are my favorite part because I feel like for the guys, it's like they're the hottest people out of their friend groups. You know what I mean? So when you get like the hottest guy of their friend with a room full of people just like them, they get so like it's a little bit more sneaky, I feel like, and more just like pumping their chest and stuff. Where like girls are more catty and more sneaky, and it's fun to watch. But I don't know. I find it way more entertaining to watch the guys like fight over a girl, which I don't know if that's just me, but
I don't know. We'll find out. I'll let you know when it starts here in January.
We'll find out. So we're just going to start off by just talking briefly about Hannah on Dancing with the Stars. It looks like Hannah's going to be on Dancing with the Stars until the finale, so you'll be listening to us talk about it for a couple of weeks. So
longer than that, I think.
Probably, yeah. Honestly, probably like 2 more months. So
but I like the way you say it. Just keep saying 2 more weeks. It'll make me feel better.
Just a couple more weeks. That's it. Yeah, just a few more weeks. Did you? I'm gonna. Well, okay. So, did you watch this episode?
Yes. I missed James Vanderbeek and whoever danced second. I worked a little bit late that night.
Okay.
But I really wanted to see Dawson's Creek, James Vanderbeek, but I missed that. Oh, I bet it was. I mean, after week 1, I was actually looking forward to seeing him dance.
I think he fumbled a little bit, and I think he got like the 3rd highest. Like he wasn't like the highest.
Did Hannah B end up beating him then that night?
Hannah got the highest score of the night.
Okay.
So I'll let you in on a secret. I did not watch this episode. I was scrolling through Facebook and I followed Dancing with the Stars on Facebook, and it popped up, watch Hannah's dance, and I was like, oh, okay. So I watched her dance, and then I just kept scrolling down. Like, you know how they have like recommendations after you finish the videos? Yep. Well, all of the dances were there, so I just kept watching the dances and would skip to the end and watch the next one. So I skipped out watching the episode and just watched the dances. I recommend do that. Like, if you don't care about the drama. But I didn't know who got eliminated until I started looking up videos on YouTube, and they had the elimination like thing, and I read articles about it. So I was like, oh, I can just look this up on YouTube and skip watching the episode and then just watch all the dances. So that's a tip for all y'all that don't want to watch it. I didn't know the order though, but Hannah was the last dance of the night, and she got the highest score. She got all 8s, the first 8s of the season, and highest score of the night with a 24.
Yeah, she did great. And she did great, and she looked great too. A really nice dress.
She looked beautiful. She just looked everyone's saying that her and her dance partner, Alan, is that his name? I think his name's Alan. That they're like.
Hold on, I actually have it written down here.
Oh, do you?
Alan Bertson.
Alan Bertson, who I've never seen before,
I'm on it, man. I'm on it.
Way to go. Good, because I had no idea. They're like gonna end up dating and whatever, which I'm like, okay, I support it. I don't know.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking that too, actually, to be honest. But
Yeah.
I did make one note I made, and I'm no dancer. I would love to take swing dance lessons.
Mm.
I think that would be so fun. But I'm no good at dancing. But I did make a note that her timing was really good. Like as far as the movements and stuff with the beat, I write music from time to time,
Hmm.
and so I'm good with being able to see beats and when she would hit like a leg.
A
I don't
step,
know how
yeah.
you explain these things, but like,
No, I get what you're
stiffen
saying.
your leg or move your shoulder or
It was
stuff
all
like
to the
that.
beat of the song. Like it was,
Yes,
yeah.
yes, it was very well timed. So she did
She's
great.
definitely the most professional looking out of all of them. Like I know,
Yes.
like her face, like she's so into it. Like it just looks very natural. Like some of them, like you can see them trying to move, and it does look like really stiff. And I always feel bad because it's always like the older people that you're like they just can't move, or the one guy that's like 7 foot.
Oh
Like
yeah.
I just feel so bad for him because I'm like I know he's trying his best. He just can't make his body move like that way. Like
Right.
I don't know. It's crazy, but I definitely think Hannah's probably gonna win or it's gonna be an upset by someone the way that it looks like she's going. So
Yeah.
just a
Yeah.
few more weeks.
And I had called it, how obviously Sean Spicer should have been eliminated because he's just
I thought
terrible.
I
But
thought he got like a 3 or something. Or like 5. No, he didn't. Someone else did. I don't know.
13,
Yeah.
13.
I was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
he's for sure getting eliminated first." And he didn't.
Yeah, and that's the American people voting and the entertainment aspect of it, which is
Yeah.
why the people vote. But I said it last week and I'll say it again, this week now that it actually happened, how demoralizing does that have to be for one of the other contestants who got voted off just
Yeah.
because people want to be entertained at this guy who really can't dance, you
No,
know?
I definitely was like, "Oh, well, it doesn't matter. He's going home first." But then I thought about like, no, people probably are just voting for him just to keep seeing him do this. Like,
Right. He
it's
did get
almost like
better
a
though.
joke. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he did get better though. He's just the stiff legs, like that one judge had said. His legs are just so stiff. He needs to loosen
Yeah.
up his legs a little bit, but I mean, he did a lot better and he looked more comfortable, but
It looked like everyone did a lot better,
oh, that's for
honestly.
sure.
I
Yeah.
mean, we're not
Yeah.
a Dancing with the Stars recap show, but whatever. I think people will get better and as the show goes on, but I still think Hannah's gonna win or
I do
come in
too.
second.
Her or Dawson's Creek, one of those
Yeah,
two.
it's gonna either be an upset or she's gonna win. Like that's just
Yeah.
here's hoping.
And I still want to see her and Dawson Creek do a dance together. That would be
Maybe
awesome.
they will. That'd be cool.
That
Dawson's
would.
Creek. I love it. I love you just call them Dawson Creek. So moving on, we have like two news things that I'm aware of. So Bachelor in Paradise couple that got together at the very last episode, Whitney and Connor. Um, Connor, the one that was in love with Kaylin and then left,
Yeah.
and Whitney who chased after him. They broke up. no
Oh
one's
no.
no one's surprised.
Oh, what a shame.
So I actually knew before I started watching the season, I saw on Instagram or something that they were dating. So I going into the season, like I knew that they ended up a couple. So that like definitely
Oh,
spoiled things. I'm like,
right.
Kaylin, like what's going on with Kate? Because I knew that he was dating Whitney. I don't know how I found that out. I was just on Instagram. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, okay. Um, but then like Connor just released something, I guess a couple days ago, saying that like their relationship moved way too fast in the real world and they realized they kind of skipped the whole friend thing, like just like being friends, which are kind of
Right.
like yeah, I get it.
Everyone does. That's the point of going on the show.
Yeah,
Well,
it's
it's not the point, but I mean, it basically in a roundabout way. It's a byproduct of, you know what I mean? You don't know these people,
no,
so you don't have time to become friends with them, and you
no,
know that before
exactly.
you're even going on the show.
And it's kind of one of those things where I feel like people are in like way too many different pages when they enter the show, which will come up when I talk about something later. Um, I feel like Like, some people go into especially Bachelor in Paradise, like, some people go in there really looking for love and really expecting to get engaged at the end of it and really good looking for that long-term fairy tale, and other people are just going to get the Instagram followers or to just have fun and relax on the beach, and you can definitely tell, like, that I don't know, like, it just doesn't work out when people have different expectations, and I don't think there's a way to make sure that everyone that goes on the show are all expecting to get engaged at the end of it, you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
I don't know how they fix that, because even for Bachelor and Bachelorette, like, people admit that they just go on the show just to, like, get a free vacation or hang out with people because 'cause they're not really expecting to fall in love with this one guy or one girl, and then they get wrapped up in the world that is reality TV.
Oh,
Um,
it's crazy.
but all that to say, they broke up, whatever, cool. So our not bachelor, sad face, not bachelor Mike, not too sad, went on a date with Demi Lovato,
Yeah.
my
I
man.
saw that too. I was like, yeah,
I was
boy.
like, okay, I'm not the biggest Demi Lovato fan, but I'm like, go ahead, Mike, like, shoot your shot. Like, so apparently, like, she was started watching the show with Hannah season and was like a really huge fan of Hannah, like reached out to her and then like went to like the reunion show taping. Like, she was like in the audience and was like saying on Twitter like that she's a huge fan of Mike and that she would love to go on a date with him and like slide in his DMs. And I guess like she did. And they ended up going on a date. I think a couple of dates. He's sneakier than Tyler is, where like Tyler was caught out with
Right.
Gigi. But he was like, I don't know, like that he hasn't really just like disclosed anything and she hasn't disclosed anything. But um what do you think? Do you think that they were dating or not dating, going on dates like while considerations for The Bachelor were going around, or do you just think he was not considered at all?
Um, uh, I
Like,
don't
do you
think
think
he
this could
was
have
considered at all,
jeopardized?
sadly, I don't think he was considered at all.
I agree. I don't think he was in
Very
consideration.
sadly, because he would have been great.
Yeah,
Just great.
I agree. And I mean, we can talk about this later too, but I just thought that was interesting. I think it's
Yeah.
interesting that it seems like more than ever, like the people are coming out of The Bachelor dating celebrities, like being,
Yeah, it's weird.
yeah, like that really hasn't. I've listened to other podcasts and them saying like this is like hasn't really ever happened. Like especially Tyler dating like a very famous supermodel, like right off the bat. Like
Wells is engaged to
Sarah,
Sarah
yeah,
Hyland.
and I think he was really the only example they had of like a past contestant. I think now like people are starting to, because I think now the show is becoming more about it's a platform to reach other, like they talk about on Collider Live, like a lot of people just use that as a platform to be able to get into the industry and stuff like that, which I
Yep.
don't know if, I mean, hey, like I said, if you're there for the or the right reasons, if you're there to get married, that's cool. But I feel like I would probably use it the same way. Like, let's be
Yeah, I mean,
honest.
why
Like,
not? I
why
mean,
not?
whatever. You're young, you're pretty, so might as well.
Yeah, go ahead, go reach
Whatever.
for the stars. Before we get into our last couple of whatever, let's take a little break to listen to some promos for some other great shows that you can listen to on this network.
Hey everybody, Jay Wade here to tell you about Afterlive, our unofficial Collider Live after show podcast. It's like sitting in your living room on a Saturday night hanging with your friends. Sarah, Kaylin, Mike, and I talk about everything from Roxy being directionally challenged, Christian never having watched a thing, Dorina's witchy ways, Makuga being scared of everything, to Yodi screaming that it's not a big fucking deal. Find us on Merc with a Movie blog on all your podcasting platforms, including Anchor. Talk to you then.
Hey there, Schmodown fans. This is Josh the Merc Rainer, and I am here to tell you about my show, Talkin' Schmodown. Whether it's Andrew Guy getting hit with a chair, John Roca screaming "Outlaw!" or the emotional retirement of the Shire Wolves, I talk about it all. so you can catch me right here on Anchor and all the other major podcasting platforms. So, as I ask every episode, are you ready to talk Schmodown? I am.
Okay, so before we kind of end the show talking about Peter as the Bachelor, I just really wanted to talk about something that I probably have. I have very heated opinions about it, and I'm not sure if it's going to be controversial. But last week we talked about how Nicole and Clay's scene from the reunion was cut out of the 3-hour-long show. And we talked about how Clay and Nicole kind of addressed it on their Instagram. And I was looking on YouTube and found the actual cut scene from it. And I just want to discuss it because Nicole really pissed me off throughout the entire
Me too.
8-minute segment thing. I was watching it and I was getting very heated, and I start messaging you and I was like, we need to talk. I really want to talk about this. And then I literally just watched it before we started recording because I was like, I want to get back in that.
Right.
Like, let me rewatch it because I kind of forgot some things and I was freaking out. I'm like talking back to the scene, like, what are you talking about? So it's on YouTube if anyone hasn't seen it. But basically it's Nicole, and what really pisses me off is that it's all Nicole's point of view. Like, it just is so focused on Nicole and like not really objective to Clay's feelings, and they bring Angela in for some reason. I'm like, girl, like, sit back. Like, I don't understand. So like Chris Harrison's like asking Nicole, and they watch the clips, and it's like back on their journey, and it's all very Nicole heavy and everything about Nicole. Nicole's like rolling her eyes, is doing this whole thing, and is like,
yeah.
So I'm like, okay, whatever. So she's talking about, I don't even know. Like, I literally don't even know. Like, she's just talking about Clay and how he essentially blindsided her and wasn't honest, and start talking to and Chris out of nowhere brings up Angela, and Angela's like, I'm so sorry that this happened to you. Like, literally the same thing happened to me, and brings up for the 8th millionth time that Clay talked about what their babies would look like, which I'm like, girl, like, stop bringing that up. Like, nobody cares. And then Nicole's like, I wish I had the chance to talk to Angela before all this stuff happened. And that's where I like to make my first annoyance note, whatever, is that, girl, you could have talked to Angela. You dismissed her. You went up there and said, don't talk to me. Keep me, like, stay away from me and my man. Don't get into our relationship. Like, you shooed her away. So that's your fault for not listening to her. Like, first of all. Then they bring Clay out, and like they just start like berating Clay, and she like, Chris is like, do you have any questions? And she's like, why would you do that? Why? I forget how she worded it, so weird. Like, why would you come to the show if you knew that you weren't looking for love? And he was like, I came on the show or whatever, which essentially brings me into the point of like, they were both there for different reasons. Like, I think Clay was just there just to keep his options open. I don't think he was there to get engaged, which I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
No, I don't think so either.
And I think Nicole was like, I am leaving this beach engaged or not. Like, I am leaving this beach. We are getting engaged. I'm not leaving with just a normal relationship. And I feel like Nicole's the type of girl that is always pursued and always like, oh, you're the hottest girl here in the club. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I feel that way. So I feel like the fact, I don't know. I feel like now I'm rambling. What did you think about this? Because I'm heated.
well, like you just said, you're right. Because when she was with Christian, I think that was the most real Nicole that we ever saw.
Yes.
And that is exactly what you were talking about. She likes the dudes who are just all over her, worshiping her, and you touched everything, dude. It was so, it made me so mad that while I was watching the clip, followed her from Twitter. I was so pissed. I was like, dude, I don't want anything. I don't care what this broad is doing in life. I don't care anything about, I don't care that we have a Bachelor podcasting show and that's why I added her was to keep up with stuff. And I don't care. I'm like, she's so, ugh, ugh. Yeah.
No, it's just very
Now I'm
frustrating.
starting to get heated.
It's so frustrating because, like, I guess this is where my controversial take comes in, is that she keeps saying crap like, I deserve the deepest love and I deserve a man that's going to
Right.
chase after me. And the thing that really ticked me off is when she's saying like something about love in a relationship and knowing that she's loved and that she wasn't going to leave the beach. She said, I'm not going to leave the beach in a relationship with you, not knowing if you love me or not. Like, not be in a relationship and tell
Right.
people that you're my boyfriend if I don't know if you love me. Where I'm kind of like, first of all, like, it takes time to build that love. Like, it really takes time to build a deep love. Like, that just doesn't happen overnight. Like, it takes years. And, like,
Yeah.
and that's what's it's frustrating because I feel like it's sending a negative message to young girls or women to be like, don't only get in a relationship if you're madly in love with someone. We're like, and then if you don't feel that love for a person anymore, then you're not meant to be with that person, which is not true. Like, love, the feeling of love doesn't last. Like, it goes away, but you still love that person. Like, it's just frustrating because I just feel like it's a very kind of toxic message of like, Clay didn't care about me because he didn't come out and tell me that he loved me. Like, yes, he
Yeah.
did. Like, he did. Like, maybe, I mean, maybe he didn't love you, but he still cares about you. And he even said that. He was like, I still
Yeah.
cared about you and I still wanted to be in a relationship. And she was just like, no, it's okay. It's okay. I found someone that I don't doubt if he loves me. And I'm like, you're not giving him a chance to talk to you because you know he's right. Like,
Yeah.
it's so fun because she's like, you didn't even fight for our relationship, and he's like, what are you talking about? Like, she just kept bringing stuff up and like talking over herself and kept bringing in Angela, and I'm like,
That was the worst, bringing Angela into it and Angela interjecting herself. And then
yeah,
it was just so, I don't know. It was, I would like to know the exact reason why they cut
it
it
was
out,
cut.
but I'm glad they did because
Yeah,
it was a
maybe.
terrible display of bias, against
Maybe the
each
producers
man.
knew that like it was not gonna shine Nicole in a very good light. Like, I don't know, because I think I think there's probably a lot of people that are like, yeah, she's right, she's taking a stand, like, and I'm not saying like that you should be in a relationship that treats you like crap because that person that's not what I'm saying at all. But I'm just saying I think Nicole had very different expectations and was at a very different level than Clay was, and maybe
Yeah.
Clay wasn't forthcoming in with her. I mean, it seems like he was, but I don't know. Maybe he was saying all kinds of crap to her. We have no idea what was said when the cameras weren't
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
But I don't. It just seemed like she was so had her mindset that they were going to get engaged. Like we've said before, that she like wasn't seeing the red flags or wasn't seeing the writing on the wall that he was trying to be upfront with her. And then she also said like if you were in love with me or if you were so sure, you wouldn't have doubts about our relationship, which is not true. Like, that's also
Well,
not true. Like,
that and she obviously had doubts too because like we've said before, she went on a date with Jordan and Christian.
and she
So
wasn't sure about what to do with Christian. She said she didn't even know what she was going to do with the rose
yeah.
ceremony. Yeah, so it's just kind of like, I feel like a little bit of her age and maybe like immaturity when it comes to relationships kind of came out. And I mean, like, that's okay, just as long as she just works on relationships. I don't know, it just she just really kind of ticked me off.
Yeah.
And I really
Yeah.
don't think Clay really did anything wrong, and I would hate for him to get all kinds of hate and stuff because I don't think he did anything wrong. Like, I really
Yeah. I
don't.
don't think he did either.
Unless
So
he said awful things and we have no idea. But I don't think he really did anything wrong. Um, so we're just going to kind of wrap things up talking about, again, our bachelor Peter.
I'm just
Um,
gonna call him Pete.
Pete. Yeah, okay. Sweetie Pete. So I would be honest, I tried to look up some things, I tried to read some articles, and I just can't do it. I can't read about Pete's life. Like, so he's an airline pilot for Delta, which is pretty, that's cool. It's pretty interesting. His dad was also a pilot, and his parents are adorable and really the silver lining. Like, I'm excited to see his parents, hopefully,
Yeah,
a
yeah.
lot.
I mean, when your
Um,
mom cheers on live national television because the girl admits that y'all did
oh
it four
my
times in one
God.
night, you got hip parents, dude.
Well, we know Peter likes to get down, so no, I'm
Yeah.
just kidding.
But
Um,
real quick, I do want to
Go
bring up
ahead.
some. Again, we talked about it during the Bachelorette with Pete and him being an airline pilot, and I want to bring it up again, and I will again when the season starts. That if you're looking to get engaged, that in my mind would mean settle down and get married. He's going to travel a lot,
Yeah,
and and maybe he can find a woman who's okay with that, but that was not, at least on camera for us, the viewers, we didn't get to see any conversations with he and Hannah as far as what life would be like as far as him being out of town and
yeah,
working as an airline pilot. So I would hope that they would actually have that conversation this time, because I mean, I could see that as a big issue.
yeah.
So,
Realistically, that is a huge thing. Like, he's for a big airline, like a very prominent airline. He's a pilot. He's probably working a lot. He seems like a very good pilot. I think I've heard or seen like he's ranked pretty well, so he's going to be working a while. Like, that puts strains on a relationship, especially like a new relationship where you met on a dating show. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
that is definitely something I think to keep in mind, and we'll see how Peter handles that. I'm sure he's thought about that. I mean,
Yeah,
Peter
I just want to hear them. I just would like to see them actually have the
actually talk
conversation
about it.
about it, and because it just seems like with Hannah B, they just skipped right over that. It was just kind of like, oh, you're an
Yeah.
airline pilot,
No,
that's awesome, but they
they
never
probably
delve
did
into that.
have. I feel like they probably did, but they probably cut it because they knew at that point that it wasn't going to matter. Like, he wasn't going to win anyway. You know what I mean?
Right, right.
Like, by the time they edited they're like picking and choosing what goes in. So I'm sure they had that conversation, but we knew he wasn't going to win. So
Yeah,
yeah,
poor puppy dog Pete.
poor puppy dog Pete. So what? I feel like I'm so like, here we go again, like with
Yeah,
Peter. And I watched the interview with Rachel Lindsay, who was the first African American bachelorette and the only so far. And she was talking about how she's very disappointed that it's not Mike as the bachelor. And she was saying, and I think she sums up my feelings perfectly, like saying that it's not because we're not disappointed because like Peter is he seems like a very sweet guy. I'm sure he's going to be a great bachelor. And I'm sure like I was not excited for Colton at all, and his season was a really good season. So I feel like Peter's season's probably going to be a good season too. It's really just the fact that like Peter literally looks like every other bachelor. And that's what's so frustrating is that he looks like every bachelor. He has the same kind of boring job as every bachelor. And it's just like and we've constantly talked about it, and I'm sure people are annoyed with it, but like it's just that ABC had the opportunity to change it up and they didn't. And that's what's frustrating. And
yeah,
like I'm not saying that Mike's the only option ever, but it was like you had a pretty good option that people really wanted, and you still just went with a guy that literally looks like everyone else, like every other
yeah.
bachelor.
Highly disappointing. I mean, I don't. I mean, seriously, and I don't this, might sound funny and coming from me, but because I joke around a lot, but I don't think I'm ever gonna get over it, man. It really does irritate the hell out of
No,
me.
it really it just I know like it's a stupid TV show. Like I know like
Yeah,
it's dumb and it's stupid, but it really is kind of frustrating. And I hear other podcasts and stuff talk about it, like the lack of diversity and not just skin color, but also just like you don't ever see people like covered with tattoos, or you don't see what people with. There was one girl 2 seasons ago that had a short pixie cut hair, and she was the first girl out of 22 seasons to have short hair. Like
Mm.
stupid things like that. Like you don't see a lot of gingers, and you don't see people that like have like disabilities, like physical disabilities. You don't see someone in a wheelchair, or you don't see
Well,
someone.
well, well, hold on. I'm sorry, Cam and his
Oh yes,
amputated
oh
leg.
yes, yes. But even that is like, even that has now become like a joke. Like, you know what I
Right,
mean? Like it's
right.
just, and it's frustrating. And even the people that are like, I'm weird, I was an outcast. It's like you're still gorgeous. Like, what are you talking about? Like, and it's just frustrating in the sense, or even apparently like veterans. Like we've never had a veteran
Yeah.
as a vet. It's just things besides like skin color diversity. We never had an
hmm
Asian lead, and people are saying that Peter's Cuban, so we've never had like a Latino, whatever equivalent.
Can't
So
you can't tell by looking at him, and his
you
last name is Weber.
no, you can't tell at all. But like he is, so like that's a little bit of a victory. But I'm sure they were not considering that when they made him the Bachelor.
Right,
Like I'm
right.
I'm sure that was not like, oh, he's Latino extent-ish, I guess. Like that's why he's the Bachelor. Like I'm sure that was not on their radar. Like, oh yeah, like it's a bonus. Like I don't know. It's just, I think the more like I start to get invested in the show, the more I kind of realize like it's frustrating. Like it's frustrating, and now like this show is getting a little bit more and more popular, it seems like, and reaching, like it's still reaching younger generation quotation marks. Like
hmm
I feel like this show, it has the opportunity and can make a difference, and like we keep saying, like showcase different body types, showcase tall and short and different body, just difference. And like I think it would really, like people would probably watch a lot more, and it could make a change. And as stupid as it is, you know what I mean? Like
Oh yeah.
it's just, and I
J
feel like
Wade
this
for Bachelor. For
Jay
real,
Wade
man. Tweet, everybody tweet at Bachelor. Fat guys deserve love too. Hashtag J Wade for Bachelor. I
yeah,
do it all the time because it's true, man. And even Chris, I've heard Chris say it to he said it to Demi, how like, we just want to help you find love. We just want to help people find love, and being
yeah,
about being
but
diverse and inclusive, and it's like not really. I
no,
mean, you
you
just
don't.
want
You want,
money.
yeah, you want money, you want ratings, and like you want, I don't it, especially the part, and people are pissed off the part when he said, "Oh, um you're you're different than any other bachelor we've had before." And we're all like, "Excuse me?" Because he lives like 5 minutes from the mansion. Like that was
Yeah,
kind of like a slap in the face. Like that had to have
yeah.
been like a snide comment. But anyway, um we have Peter. It's we're gonna see him in January.
Yep.
Um, so do we have any expectations for this season? Do you think it's gonna
Um,
be like a pretty basic season? Do you think it's gonna go crazy?
I think it's going to be extremely basic and boring on his end, but I do foresee, I foresee some fireworks between some of the ladies.
Oh yeah,
I'm especially going to be keeping my eye out. You mentioned Gingers, Lexi
that
B
one.
from New York
Yes.
City. I'm going to be keeping my eye out on her. She looks like a feisty little fiery redhead, and she's from New York City. So yeah, she might cause some trouble. But I'm looking for those cat fights. I want to see some of that.
Yeah, that will probably be the best part of the season, is just
Oh yeah.
all the girls and the cat fights. Do you think that Peter will get engaged at the end of the season? And do you think, if he does, do you think the engagement is going to last, or do you think they'll break it off before the reunion show?
I think that he will get engaged. They will still be engaged at the reunion show, but they won't end up getting married.
Yeah, okay. I agree. I definitely agree. Unless something, I really don't, but I felt the same way with Colton. I was like, Colton season's gonna be boring, and then we had the whole fence jump, and it was crazy, and him
Oh,
setting
that
his,
was Colton, the fence
yes,
jumping guy. That
Yeah,
was when I first like started to even think about, or not think about it, but like on Collider Live, they were talking about it, and
yeah,
that's when they first started talking about it, was the fence jumper. So I remember,
yeah,
I never knew
Colton.
his name. I just knew that, there was a guy who jumped a fence.
Yeah, Colton was like super vanilla. His season was just okay, and they jumped a fence, and he sent his top two girls home and chased after the girl that broke up with him. Like, it was
Wow.
nuts. Yeah, so now I'm like, maybe that's gonna happen with Peter. I doubt it, but kind of hoping something fun and crazy happens. Um,
What if the ladies get really, really out of hand and crazy, and he can't take it anymore? So he
that's
sneaks away,
funny.
and he goes home, since he lives so close, and he just
That'd be
hides out
so
in his
funny.
house.
That'd be so funny. You know for sure there's gonna be so many jokes about him in a windmill. Like,
Yeah,
there's
for
gonna be
sure.
so many jokes. Like, or like sex jokes and
Right, right, right.
like someone's gonna show up. Oh, like I would show up with like Gatorade.
Oh, that's great.
Like,
Oh my gosh. You're great, dude. That's
oh my
great.
God, that'd be so okay. I'm calling it. Someone showing up with like some kind of like almonds or like some kind of like snack, like or
Right,
like a
right.
trail mix and Gatorade. Like, I'm calling it now.
I
I
love
ho-
that. I hope
I
so. That
hope
would
that
be so
we should
great.
do like bingo. That'd be so funny. Like for the first episode. Okay, we're gonna do it. That's an off
All
camera
right, I'm down.
discussion. But okay, we're gonna make bingo cards. Y'all can play along. No, I'm just kidding. So let's just talk about, we looked through Peter's Girls, got released. There's 33 of them. As mentioned before, they all look the same. For the majority. They got
Especially
some,
the blondes.
oh my God. There's two girls back to back that I was like, are these the same girls?
Yeah.
Like, they legit look the same. There's a lot of weird, I mean, there's like a couple weird names, and then there's your basic like few Laurens, Courtneys, Sarahs, like some I mean Sarahs.
Yeah.
Some basic names. We have a couple, I mean, it's the majority of the girls are white and blonde and tall and beautiful.
Yep.
Or like brunettes. One redhead, like you mentioned, a couple of African American girls, I think a couple Spanish-ish girls.
Couple Asian girls as
Yeah,
well.
a couple token Asian girls. Like they hit a few of their
Yeah,
minorities.
it's so obvious.
Oh my God, it's so
But it's
obvious.
so obvious. It's just weird. I don't know. I
Um,
don't know. Out of all the things that are being called out these days for various reasons, and this isn't one of them. It just boggles my mind, but
oh,
whatever.
yeah, it's totally obvious. So we went through the pictures of the girls, and instead of being totally rude and just commenting on each one, we decided to look through all of them, and based solely on their looks and maybe a little bit of where they're from, we picked the top four that will go in the hometowns, and we are predicting. Well, I think I am predicting who he's going to pick in the end.
Hmm.
Again, based solely on looks, which is super artificial, but whatever. And we will see by the end of the show in next year who if we were right. I'm really hoping that none of these, like our top four, like none of them go home like
Right.
night one, then we're screwed.
I know. Yeah, yeah.
So if you would like to go first, and you can kind of talk a little bit about how you made your decisions if you would like, or if not, that's cool too. Solely off looks.
All right. My first pick was Hannah Ann S.
She's on
Um,
my she's not in my top four, but she's on my list of girls to look out for.
all right. I just, based on him being from California
Yes.
and him looking the way he does. Now, Hannah Ann S. is from Knoxville, Tennessee, but
Mm-mm.
she has that Sarah Hyland look. Sarah Hyland is Haley from Modern Family.
Yes.
And I just I just can see Peter going for a chick like that, with that kind of look. So that's why I picked Hannah Ann S as my first, as far as the hometown visits.
Mm-hmm.
And then, would you like me to go through all four of
she's
mine?
also a beauty queen.
Oh, is she? Oh,
Yeah, I
yeah.
found that out.
Well, that'll help
Yeah,
a
go
lot
ahead.
too.
Go ahead. 3 or 4.
My second pick was Kelly F. from Chicago, Illinois. Again, I don't know. She
Not
just,
on my list.
she has a certain look that I think, Pete, being again from California and what he's grown up around, I envision him having a certain look that he likes. And for that reason, Kelly F. Let's see.
Okay.
I also, did you just look at a pic?
Yeah, I'm looking at the girls as you're mentioning them.
Yeah, me too. I'm scrolling through. And then my third is Lauren J. Again, she's also from California. She's from his area. So I think they might probably have a lot in common there. And again, that look, she has a certain look that I think like a modelish actress type of a look. So I had Lauren J as my third choice. And then for my final choice, I have Sara C. from Knoxville, Tennessee.
Oh my gosh.
And actually Sara C. is the one that I think that he will end up picking and proposing to. But I don't know, again, kind of with the look, but I don't know, I don't know. I like Southern girls, so maybe that has something to do with it. And she's wearing jeans, so she seems like a fun type of a girl that outdoorsy maybe. And her, I don't know, her hair, I like her hair a lot. So maybe I'm picking her more just because she reminds me of I don't know. I know a bunch of people from the South, so maybe, I don't know. But I think Sara C is probably going to be the one. I could see, and also when I'm looking at this picture, I can see Pete standing next to her. I can see that she looks like they would look good together. So, but yeah, that, and I think after Hannah B, he's definitely going to be eyeballing a Southern girl for sure. But Hannah Ann S. and Sara C. are both from Knoxville, so that could get interesting.
Ooh, maybe they know each other and we get some drama.
That would be crazy, wouldn't it?
Drama. Okay,
yeah,
so Sara
like
C.
one of them used to bully the other one when they were in elementary school.
Oh no.
Yeah, who'd you have?
Okay, so my top 4. My first top 4 is Courtney P. from Venice, Florida. I think she is that typical blonde. I think she's beautiful. I just picked her because she's like stunning. Like at first, like she like caught my eye, and same kind of thing. I can see Peter kind of staying next to her, and I don't know, like she just seems.
She was the first one I put on my list.
Yeah, she's just I don't know, like I was like, oh okay, like she just stood out to me, and she seems like the type of girl that will probably go far. Like I'm just following my gut.
Right.
So I just strolled down, and the girls.
She looks like a player, and not in a bad way, but I mean like she plays the game.
Yeah,
is what I mean. You know what I mean?
Like she could be the villain. Like she also kind of looks like she could be like, I'm here for my man. Like I don't need on these other girls. Like that.
Yeah. Like if Kelly Ripa was mean in real life instead of nice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my next one, I gotta scroll down, look at her, is Lauren M, which is the girl under Lauren J. So we have two Laurens. Lauren M also stood out to me. She has like the brown hair with like the highlights.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think she'll be like top 4, but I don't think she's gonna be the final. She just seems really like cute and sweet, like maybe like kind of a surprise that she's in the top 4. I really hope, but then like further looking at her, I hope she doesn't go home like too. Like, I could also see that happening. My next top 4 is I'll do Victoria F. Oh, I just think is where is she? Oh no. Sorry, great podcasting. Oh, Victoria F. She looked, I wouldn't say like Latino, or I'm really bad at, she's probably not Latino, but she definitely is not white. And I definitely think there will be one person in the top 4 that's not white, just to add that diversity.
Right. Yeah.
And
And
I
no matter what, sorry, but and no matter,
go ahead.
even if Pete, is legitimately interested in a
Yeah.
non-white contestant, he'll
Yes.
still have the producers in his ear, maybe you should look at so-and-so a little bit closer, which
Yes.
it's just, I love diversity and all that, but I don't like it when it's forced and it's pushed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But anyway.
And I think I could see it not being forced with her. Like, I just think she looks very beautiful. She looks
Yeah, she
very
does.
down to earth and kind
Great
of
smile.
Yeah, she doesn't seem I don't know, she seems very like a very down to earth type of girl that's probably calming, that I could see Peter like just wanting to be around. Like, kind of like Tayshia, where like Tayshia was in Colton's top 3, and I could see her kind of being like just very calming, very mature, someone that a guy would want to like keep around for a little bit. Don't think she's gonna win, but and my final 4, and the person I think is going to win is also Sarah C. Not because of the name, which is a great name, but I definitely think Sarah's gonna win. I was like, yep, there she is. She's the winner. She's, like you said, she's beautiful. I also love her hair. She also seems just very relaxed. She seems confident. Again, this is just based off pictures, which is kind of crazy. That you can, like, if you're analyzing pictures, you're like, oh, this person, I don't know, like, I'm a great casting director. But I agree. I thought the same exact thing. Like, I can see him and her together. Like, I can see him standing next to her after the final rose. Like, she just seems like the girl next door, and that kind of seems like his type. Like, Hannah was the goofy girl next door type. That's what she seems like. That's what a lot of these girls kind of seem like too. And you said like she's from Tennessee, like that definitely seems like his type. I don't know if he'll go for the LA girls or the city girls, because that's what he's been around. Like, he seems like family.
He'll be drawn into at least one of them. You know what I mean? Just because of the familiarity of people, like folks. I get along very well with people who are from the country, because that's where I've grown up in rural America.
And that's what
people who are from the cities, they'll have more in common with people from the cities. But when it comes down to it, yeah, for sure. I'm with you, Sarah C. I think she's going to be it.
Yeah, I think so too. But we'll see in January when the show, I mean, we won't see who wins, but we'll see when the show comes back if any of these girls make it past the first night. Here's hoping. I really hope they do. And we will be back next week talking about Hannah B, continuing on Dancing with the Stars. Not sure what else, but we'll find something to talk about, we do. Until then, Jay, where can people find you?
Everybody, you can find me on the Twitter at JWade1134. That is the letter J, WADE 1134.
And you can follow me on Twitter at SCBox, so that's SSEABOCK. And you can also find this show and more at Merc with a Movie blog feed on Anchor, Spotify, Stitcher, Apple, and Google Play. Like we keep saying, just go to Anchor. Very easy. It's all there. You can find it there. And we also have episodes on YouTube on the Merc with a Movie blog channel if you want to check them out there. We're so glad you joined us here. Until next time, go ahead and get that rose. Goodbye.